Have you ever been truly in the zone, locked in during a task? When you're in a flow state, time seems to stop and you're fully immersed in the task at hand without actively thinking about your performance or other people's perceptions of you. According to the Flow Research Collective, flow is when action and awareness merge, time flies, self vanishes, mental and physical performance go through the roof. Psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, he began researching the flow state in the 1970s. He describes flow as a state of complete absorption in an activity where the challenges of the task match an individual's skills and abilities. There are 6 key characteristics of a flow experience: merging of action and awareness, undivided concentration on the task, sense of control, loss of self-consciousness, sense of time transformation, and autotelic experience, where the experience itself is its own positive reinforcement. You're engaging in the task for the joy of engaging in the task. A 2024 study at Drexel University's Creativity Research Lab examined 32 jazz guitarists, both amateurs and professionals. These guitarists were instructed to improvise over a set of changes while their brainwaves were being monitored by an electroencephalogram, or an EEG. Afterwards, recordings of their improvised solos were sent to expert judges to score for creativity, and participants were asked to rate the level of flow state they experienced. Researchers found that seasoned musicians experienced flow states more intensely and more often. This makes sense. The more familiar one is with their instrument and the art form, the less effort is needed to pay attention to the technical details. Professionals also scored as more creative during their solos, which also makes sense. They've been playing their instrument for longer, they know what they're capable of. Researchers found that during high flow performances, there was less activity in the brain's frontal lobes in the executive control network. This suggests a flow state is a result of letting one's prior knowledge take the wheel rather than overly trying to control the creative process. Unlike the amateurs, the professional musicians showed activity in the parts of the brain associated with hearing and vision. Over years and years of performances, these guitarists developed a specific brain network explicitly used for jazz guitar improvisation. The Creativity Research Lab concluded that a flow state consists of 2 key factors. First, musicians must have spent enough time practicing their craft to develop a specialized brain network for performing the task. Next, the musician must release conscious control and let this specialized network take over without trying to control the product. As an educator, I often emphasize how students need to build their vocabulary of techniques to be able to make the best music possible. When students are learning scales, practicing scales, I usually walk my less experienced students through how many accidentals are in the key signature, what those accidentals are, before they perform each scale. My more advanced students often do this without me having to prompt and pull it out of them, but we regularly discuss how we're aiming to be at the point where our fingers know the scale patterns without us having to stop and think about what comes next. Our brain and our body just kind of knows it without us having to think through, okay, whole step, half step, whole, half. What does that mean for a key signature? Over time, you're just able to do it without thinking about it. This same idea comes up with music literacy. At first, students need to see the note on the page, identify the note name, identify the piano key or the fingering, and then play the note. That's 4 steps. Over time, we work towards taking out those middle steps, so we just see note, play note. 2 steps. Take out all the thinking in between. Once musicians have practiced to the point that they can use their instrument as an extension of themselves, they must let go of the pressure to be perfect to truly achieve that peak flow state. To perform is an inherently vulnerable activity. You're submitting your personal art that you've worked really hard on over an extended period of time to be judged and picked apart by an audience of people you may or may not know. Performance anxiety is its own beast, worthy of its own deep dive talk, but much like a flow state, it comes down to trusting your preparation and knowing that you've put the work in previously and letting that carry your performance. I tell my students that people don't go to a concert to look for mistakes. They go to a concert to experience art and to see you succeed. The audience is on your side. They're cheering for you. They want you to do well. Trusting your preparation allows the best art to happen. And letting go of that self-conscious voice in our head telling us we're not good enough is what truly lets us become artists. Thank you. Ah!